Hello friends, and welcome back to our homestead. Every time when I talk about herbs, I always say how it is the best way to use herbs, you know, what the indications, the actions of the herbs, but I've never really showed you how I use herbs for myself. Well, today I'm gonna show you how I use one of these herbs for myself. So here, a little story. A couple of weeks ago, I had a little mishap. I missed the last step on the stairs. I fell and I fractured my ankle. You know, the ankle swelled up, double to triple its size, lots of pain, lots of swelling, like a bruising, lots of pain. So I went to the emergency room, x-rays confirmed fracture. One of the bones in ankle is fractured. So they prescribed me this lovely boot that you're supposed to wear, right? And they said no weight bearing, meaning I had to use crutches, Motrin, ice, elevation, rest, that sort of thing. But you know, I'm a busy gal. I have lots and lots to do. So I wanted to help to speed up the healing of the fractured bone. And I know an herb that can help. So a year ago, I posted a video about Comfrey and how I like to use Comfrey as a compress, poultice, infused oils. So I'm gonna put a link in the description box if you guys want to see that. It's a great video. I talk about the plant and how it's useful. So I decided to use it for myself as well. As soon as I came back from the emergency room after being seen by the doctor, I could not walk, so I sent my family outside to harvest this beautiful plant, Comfrey. Comfrey is such an easy plant to grow. I suggest we all grow it. It has no finicky features whatsoever. Plant it and forget about it. So Comfrey is good plant to have because we all, you know, exposed to in the homesteading injuries, and it's good to have available. Now, in the summer, of course, I use it fresh, just like this, okay? But in the winter months, when there is no fresh plant available, I like to have dried Comfrey stored up. I am halfway down on a jar. That means today I harvested a big pile. I gave it a good wash. And the reason why I wash Comfrey is because those stems tend to fall down low to the ground and dirt gets on them. So I give them a good wash. I'm gonna give them a good chopping or cutting into smaller pieces so more surface area is exposed. And I'm gonna dehydrate them on a dehydrating trays in my dehydrator. They will be ready and nicely dry, crispy in about 10 to 14 hours, maybe 15 hours. So basically overnight. And then I will go ahead, put them in a glass jar, label them, and I'm gonna store them in my apothecary closet where in the winter months, off season, I can go ahead, grab it and use it when I need it. I also made oil last year, and this oil is fantastic. It's beautiful, very rich green color, and it stains your skin a little green. I made this last year. I have the video about how I made it, and I've been using it throughout the year when we need it for bruising, swelling, injuries, that sort of thing. One of the things is important to know is that if it's an open wound, I don't recommend using Comfrey right away, because if there's any infection left in a tissue, Comfrey speeds up healing of the tissue so fast that it can accidentally seal the infection in the tissue, and there will be internal infection and you're not going to know about it. Why? Because the wound will close up with infection still left inside, and that's not a good idea. So we have to make sure that the wound is completely clean and without any possible risk for infection. Comfrey has been known for a long time, like 2,000 years, that is knit bone, meaning it helps to heal the bone, or bone set. It helps the bone to set back in its place. It speeds up the healing of the fracture. And guess what, my friends? That's exactly what I'm after as well. See, I'm a busy gal. I have things to do. I can't be moping around in a house with an elevated foot on the couch, especially because My family and I are planning to travel to Latvia in about a month, and I need to be in full capacity to go and do what I need to do. I'm going to be posting some videos when I'm in Latvia, and if you're interested to learn about Latvian style of gardening and homesteading, watch because I'm going to be posting videos from Latvia. So what is a poultice? Well, a poultice is an application of an herb directly on the skin, topically, externally. It can be a fresh plant material that's been macerated into a pasty-like consistency, or, and I'm going to show you how I did that, or it can be a dried plant material that's been steeped in hot water for some time, and then water is drained off, and you have this now steeped, kind of rehydrated, woken up, dry herb. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I like to apply my poultices directly on the skin. I know there's some herbalists that prefer to put it in a muslin bag or in a cloth bag and then apply it on the skin. That's not my method. I like to apply it directly to the skin. I'm gonna give you my recipe, and I will mention other recipes, and I'll mention why you don't do it. But anyway, anytime when a new herb is been applied directly on the skin, I am suggesting that we should start with a small little area, not all over. Because if there's an allergic reaction, we need to make sure that you are responding positively to that herb. So I already tried it on myself. I have no allergy, so I went ahead and I've used it all over my ankle. Okay, the herb needs to be washed. The reason why I wash it is because the herb, usually these long branches, they fall low to the ground and the dirt splashes on them. So I give them a good wash, and then we need to chop it into manageable size. And from that point on, we need to turn it into a paste. How you turn it into a paste is up to you, whether you use a blender, whether you use a food processor, or even mortar and pestle, where you just pound it to create it into a paste. For me, I needed to add about a tablespoon of water to my blender, to my food processor, just simply to turn it more into manageable paste. Some people prefer to this part now to add some sort of a binder. They like to use either wheat flour, cornstarch, potato starch, or even bentonite clay. I don't add anything. I make it thick enough that it's not soupy, okay? It's not soupy. I prefer that the natural juices alone come out of this herb, and that's it. So if I notice that it is very, very juicy and very, very soupy, then I will go ahead and add some sort of a binder. I don't like to use wheat flour simply because there are many people who have celiac and they can have a reaction. So either potato starch or cornstarch, and just a little bit, just to mix it in together to create a manageable paste. So it will stick to your skin, whatever you're putting down. A couple of other things I like to have is I like to have a cotton towel that you don't care about because it might get stained, and once it gets stained, it may not wash off, and some sort of a plastic. Why? Because again, you want to protect your furniture, you want to protect your clothing from staining. So let me show you how I'm going to be applying Comfrey directly to my broken ankle. Okay, viewer discretion is advised. Here is my fractured ankle. It's quite swollen. There's still a lot of bruising and obviously discomfort. But I know that Comfrey is a fantastic aid to speed up the wound healing, reduce swelling, reduce inflammation. And when the inflammation and swelling are reduced, obviously the pain is reduced. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put a little plastic on the bottom because I need to make sure that I don't make a mess everywhere. So the other poultices, I'm not talking about necessarily about this poultice, but other poultices have other actions, okay? Each herb has a different action. Some poultices are designed, so I'm just taking literally this mushed up poultice and I'm just going to directly stick it to my skin, okay? I'm not worried about how it looks because it's not about the looks, it's about what it's supposed to do. Okay, and I'm just putting it on gently in a thin layer. Okay, it's a little wet obviously because of all the juices. Okay, and I'm putting it on just like that everywhere where there's swelling, where there is bruising, where it's painful, and of course right over where the fracture is. Okay, just like this. Then I will use the plastic to go over to hold it in place, and the cotton cloth to secure everything, just like this. If you like to put some sort of a bandage right now will be also a good idea. Oops, it's sliding off. I gotta fix it. It's not convenient with one person, but there's nobody right now to help me. So I'm just gonna tuck it in to hold it in place. And also it's not a bad idea to put some sort of a bandage right now. Of course, not too tight till you're cutting off circulation, but enough to keep it in place and allow your healing to take place. Now I'm just going to put my prescribed boot that they prescribed me just like this. I'm not worried about getting it stained or dirty because everything is covered with plastic. And I will put the boot that they want me to wear when I am up and about. After I saw the orthopedic doctor a week after the accident, after my fracture, oh, hold on a second. He was quite impressed of how fast I was healing. And I wanted to tell him, hey, maybe that's Comfrey. Comfrey in action. All right, and that's it, my friend. I'm gonna keep this bad boy on for at least half an hour, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. And like I said, I even done this overnight and I went to bed with this poultice. Since I'm halfway down on a dried Comfrey, I'm gonna preserve more for future use, and then I can make more poultices in the winter, or compresses, or infused oils. That can be done, you know, even with dried. So all I'm doing is just chopping into little chunks, like I've mentioned before, and putting it on a dehydrating tray. Poultices have been used for centuries for many different reasons. Poultices directly, like I said, apply to the skin, right? And the purpose for them is not just like Comfrey, you know, that helps to speed up the bone fracture, but also to reduce swelling, to reduce pain, to help with the bruises, but also it's to draw out toxins. So there are herbs that help to draw out toxins from, say, a bug bite, like plantain, for example, right? So they've been used for that. Or splinters, drawing out splinters. Marshmallow root's been used for that. Slippery elm bark has been used for that. And it helps to, you apply it to the skin where the splinter is, and it helps to pull out splinters, okay? So I'm just chopping them up into chunks before I put them on a tray for dehydration. And then even on a tray, I like to put them in thin layer so there's plenty of airflow, okay? Reduce bleeding. Poultice has been used for reducing bleeding. Everyone in my family knows that. Anybody cuts a finger or something like that, you run outside and you grab some green plantain that's growing in the backyard right away. Or yarrow, for example. It helps to stop the bleeding. Okay, what else? Antiseptic. Very often it's used as a wound washout or antiseptic, but not Comfrey. Comfrey will help to close it up way too quick, way too fast. And if there's, like I said, infection, you don't want to do that. So there are many reasons why poultices are being used. And poultice is one of those basic homemade remedy. Arnica, for example. Arnica is fantastic for pain. We should have it in our first aid kit. It helps for bug bites, for pain, inflammation, you name it. Arnica, we should have that. I don't grow arnica, but I should. Arnica is a fantastic herb to have. I have it as a dried herb. So, knowing how to make a poultice is a simple method, and there's nothing scary about it. I just say we need to try it. I know how to apply it in our family, for our loved ones, for our friends and family, right? So poultice is one of those ancient therapies that we need to know and not be afraid to use them. It's nothing scary. It's nothing weird. It's a poultice, okay? So friends, I hope you are encouraged to learn more about Comfrey, more about poultices, more about how do you apply them and use them when there is a need. So friends, be encouraged and try something new.